Since the beginning of narcissism awareness, many folks out there are trying to decipher which brand of narcissist that they're dealing with. They're going to see a video or read an article and think to themselves, yep, this is the type of narcissist I'm dealing with. And a few days go by and they're going to stumble upon another video. But this one talks about a different type of narcissism, yet they can see so many commonalities in that one also. And so it can be confusing. Narcissists all have the same basic characteristics, but as each human being has a unique set of fingerprints, the same goes for each individual narcissist. They will have their main characteristics, but will also have overlapping characteristics of other narcissistic types. So hi everybody, welcome to my channel where we discuss all things narcissism and codependency. So before we begin, I do want to mention that if you like any of my content, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe or comment if you feel compelled to do so. Okay, so getting back to the discussion. In this video, we're going to go over the different types of narcissism, but before we do that, let's take a look at the characteristics that deem a person NPD. So many people talk about their partners describing them as narcissistic, but just because someone has high narcissistic traits, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are narcissists. There are 7 traits, and typically if they have 5 out of 7, you're most likely dealing with an NPD person. So let's take a look at these traits. Number 1, a grandiose sense of self. These people have an overinflated ego and see themselves as all important, where they feel that others should look to them in reverence. Number 2, fantasies. They fantasize about being successful or the most beautiful person on the planet. They fantasize about power or fame. Some will fantasize about their level of intelligence and want to be regarded as a genius. So it goes to show the degree of low self-esteem that one must have to indulge in fantasies like that. Number 3, admiration. They must consistently be admired, and you can witness that when you see their response to criticism. Number 4, exactly what I just mentioned. They cannot handle criticism of any kind, including constructive criticism. And to boot, they will feel criticized even when they aren't being criticized at all. A person's eyes might have shifted over to the left and now war has been declared on them. Everything is a form of criticism to them. Number 5, exploitation. They exploit. They use people as means to an end. It isn't just the partners that they're going to exploit. It is family, it is friends, and it is co-workers. They are always looking for ways that they can take advantage of something. They may even attend church, for example, but the intent might not be authentic. One reason could be to get clients for their business or to gather church members so that they can get help putting up a roof. But whatever the reason, it isn't for the purpose of going to church. Number 6, special treatment. They have a sense of entitlement and expect special treatment because they are above everyone. Taking out the garbage does not apply to them. They don't take responsibility for their actions. Why would they? They are special. Number 7, lack of compassion. The needs of others, they don't matter. It doesn't matter to them if they hurt others. Number 8, arrogance. These people are completely arrogant. No need for further explanation on that one. They believe that they are better than others, and they're not going to hesitate to make them feel bad about themselves. Number 9, envious. Narcissists feel jealous and envy toward everyone. They will be envious of relationships. They will be envious of job positions, money, or any material gain. They'll even feel envy towards talent. Others that have talent. So here we have the traits to look for in narcissism. Now let's take a look at the different types. Now the first one that we can look at is the most common and obvious one, the overt narcissist. The overt is the bully in the group. The overt is shameless in regards to what they spew out. They're going to blurt out embarrassing or infuriating things to a person, and they'll do it publicly, leaving the other feeling terrible and upset. They just don't care. They are oblivious. The feelings of others are irrelevant to them. Overt narcissists are going to boast about having the best vehicle with the strongest engine, or they'll boast about the money that they have. They might even boast about knowing people in high places. They're not going to hesitate also to tell restaurant staff off and publicly shame them. They're just over the top inconsiderate. And the person experiencing this on the other end lives in a state of constant stress. They never know when they'll be publicly shamed. They walk on eggshells, always questioning what to say or what not to say in fear of the overt's crass remarks. Overts have no filter. The partners live on high emotions like resentment and anger because of how they are continually being hurt and insulted by these characters. I find that there isn't a lot of emphasis on overt narcissists when it comes to YouTube videos out there. People tend to view them as merely loudmouth pain in the necks. No one seems to pay attention to how the partners experience life with an overt. If they're loud, rude, and ruthless in public, what do you think that they're like at home? Or what do you think they're like when they get angry with their partners? I can only imagine the behavior when the children are placed in high priority, when they want to be the center of attention. And on top of being quite vile in words, they are likely the ones to be punching holes in walls and pounding on tables. And this can be quite traumatizing for both the children and the partner, because although they may have never become physical towards the family, that can change in an instant. And the victims are well aware of that, and they live in fear. More so, the victim is traumatized emotionally because after a horrific act of violence, they'll sit in front of a television snacking on chips, enjoying the show. No remorse whatsoever. And so what do you think that does to the psyche? The next type that I want to discuss is the antagonistic narcissist. The antagonistic is a subtype of the overt. Like the other types, they are manipulative. They are aggressive. They thrive on competition. They are often oppositionally defiant. Whatever you say, they'll say the opposite. Whatever you believe, they'll believe the opposite. A conversation to them is not an exchange of thoughts and information. It's a battle of who's right and who's wrong. And it can be exhausting and also lonely because the partner never gets to be heard, or they never get to be seen or even respected. They're also the ones that are likely to become physically abusive. However, every type has the potential to become physically violent. Abuse is abuse. They will threaten their partners to get what they want. They expect and they demand conformity. It's military-style mindset. Then we have the covert, also known as the shy or vulnerable narcissist. The covert is a victim. The world is against them, and that's why they never get a chance in life. They're angry, they're bitter, they're resentful, and they are contemptuous. The covert has so much anger towards the world that they live in their heads hating everyone or anything and everything. They see everything as a negative. They will put down and criticize every new business that opens, stating that these new businesses are going to fail. And that includes family members and friends that are attempting to start businesses. Somehow they aren't doing things right. And these narcissists insist on talking about what it is that they're doing wrong. Yet they're not going to attempt to start anything up themselves. They resent anyone feeling good about anything. If they come home to find their partner in a happy mood, this will infuriate them. How dare you be happy when they aren't? And they're going to do what it takes to bring that partner down. It's pretty sick. The partner, for example, is going to be so excited and they're going to want to share their great news that they just had, such as a raise, and the covert is going to blankly stare into space or nod their head with a stern look and walk away. Nothing from the heart. So what started off as the partner's head held high ends up with them walking away with their heads hung low. They might even provoke a huge fight with some cockamamie excuse where the partner has no clue as to what just went down. So yes, they are very manipulative. The covert is not only covert in the sense of being shy or vulnerable. They are covert in the same way that the wolf in The Big Bad Wolf is sly and covertly using trickery. They are conniving and ruthless. In public, they're going to appear so quiet and humble and can often appear autistic to others. They're going to look all innocent, shy, and humble and look like people who could never hurt a fly. But open the door to home and the mask is off. They are so hyper-vigilant that you are constantly walking on eggshells in fear of their outbursts. They are always looking for ways to bring you down, even on their good days. When something goes wrong in their day, like their boss not acknowledging something that they did, they're going to come after you to provoke a fight so that they can spew all their anger all over you. And after they've abused you, they feel better, they feel empowered. And there is zero compassion to how they've left you feeling. Another thing that they'll do is set up their posse, also known as the flying monkeys. Well, they all do that though. And this they're going to do at the very beginning. And it could be years before you even discover this. They're going to set up gatherings with your people and say things like, I really care for him or her, or I'm really concerned about their well-being because they've had these issues in the past, but I'm trying to help them. So later on, when you approach these people with genuine emotions regarding what they've just done to you, you're the one that looks like the crazy person. The only thing others see is this quiet, humble, innocent person genuinely concerned about you. And here you are, frantic and emotional. Covert narcissists also have a hard time holding down a job because rules do not apply to them. Next, let's look at the malignant narcissist. The malignant narcissist is sadistic. The malignant borders on psychopathy. They are extremely vindictive. Malignant narcissists are on the hunt for vengeance because they are so hyper-vigilant that everything is a slight to them. If they know what bothers you, they will purposely do it. And the more that you react to their vengeful acts, the more vengeance they go for. It is incredibly energizing to them. I personally dealt with one, and in my case, knowing how I need a clutter-free environment to feel peace, he would leave tools all over the house and huge messes just to bait me. And I knew that asking him to put them away would be a huge fight, and the same fight if I myself put them away. So I'd have to bite my tongue and put up with it. He would watch and wait for his moment or opportunity to pounce. Eventually, as I washed my floors weekly, I would have to move the tools or the tool bags out of the way in order to wash the floors, and that's when he'd attack. How dare you touch his tools, and fits where he would take my belongings and break things. The goal of the malignant narcissist is to destroy you. They want to destroy any confidence or belief in self that you have. They want you to go from happy-go-lucky to a permanent serious look on your face, never smiling. They are antisocial, which doesn't mean that they're shy. It means that they are as against social norms. They are above everyone like all narcissists, but these people defy the law. They defy governments and often mess around with taxes, for example. No one can tell the malignant what to do because no one is above them. The malignant is also extremely paranoid, and in their self-importance, they believe the helicopter, for example, that flew above the house are government spies using surveillance on them. The malignant narcissist becomes enthralled with the idea of harming another. It really makes them feel good. If there is any hope that any type of narcissist would become self-aware and want to do something about it, it is not them. They are all about destruction, and since this pleases them, what incentive would they have to change? Again, like the covert, they are conniving. They too will be as sweet as pie in the presence of others. They are malicious. If you come home with a haircut, they may say something like, "You would make such a cute little boy," in this case if you're a woman, leaving you second-guessing and unsure of yourself. Again, destruction. Lastly, we have the communal narcissist. Now, the communal narcissist can often be found in areas where charity work is involved. Now, I'm not saying that charity workers are all communal narcissists here. I'm just saying that it's the perfect niche for those seeking narcissistic supply. They get to be seen as saviors and how wonderful they are. and all cameras are on them a lot of times. Sadly, in this, they have a hard time feeling empathy for others. What a paradox, huh? Communal narcissists also portray themselves to be these really good listeners for those needing a shoulder to cry on. They want to be seen as kind, generous, and helpful. In this fantasy world, they believe wholeheartedly that others are in adoration of them. And you might see that in one that leads groups of awareness, such as saving babies or awareness platforms regarding illnesses that have been overlooked in society. Every time that you meet up with them, it's all they ever talk about. In reality, what they're actually talking about is how wonderful they are without saying so. People around them get tired of having these one-way conversations and they try to move away from them. But the communal is so self-centered in their fantasy that they are oblivious of social cues. As the malignant narcissist gets supply through vengeance and the covert through pity, the communal gets their supply from appearing to make a difference in the world. Basically, they are fake angels. And in this, the partners feel as though they have no voice because all of the attention is focused on the communal. But does it really matter what type of narcissists they are? Perhaps to a degree, but regardless of the tactics, you are being abused one way or another. You're not being considered. You're not being acknowledged. So now that we've looked at all of this and are paying attention outwardly, it would be a good idea to look inwardly also. Example, what is causing me to stay or stopping me from leaving? What is causing me to believe that I don't deserve better than this? And what can I do to change this? Now, the outward focus is good for the logical mind. We need both sides. The inner focus is so that we can clean up old beliefs and take back control of self so that you can take control of your life. Food for thought. So that is it for today. I hope that some of this information has been helpful to you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.